Flakes began flying in the Fargo-Moorhead area this afternoon, but it's been snowing for the better part of the day up in northwest Minnesota and northeast North Dakota. This is Wales. Dennis, thank you so much for sharing a shot from your video camera out there, covering the ground in many areas of the Northern Valley already. And another day's worth of snowfall is in the offing. And that is why last week we started raising the flag here on a first alert weather day for today and into your Tuesday. And well, it does look like the whole system is on. It's not all bad though. We have severe drought conditions across much of western and central North Dakota, and extreme drought where you see the red. So this extends up into northeast North Dakota as well. Much needed moisture is falling there right now. And one thing about droughts is that oftentimes they expand. The air gets dry over these parched lands, and it gets harder for clouds to even get rain all the way down to the ground when it gets that dry. Let's say this, it does look like total moisture from the system between a ½ inch and an inch in portions of northeast North Dakota. Yes, it's coming as snowfall, but not bad. Down to the south, a tenth to maybe a ½ of an inch in some locations. How about snowfall? All right, don't put away the snow blowers just yet. It's a lesson you have to learn up here in the Northern Plains. North of Highway 200 near the international border, 5 to 9 inches by the end of the day on Tuesday, making that Tuesday evening commute very tricky for some in the Northern Valley and Lakes Country. Slushy, wet, snowy roads possible in the Southern Valley with a trace to 3 inches there. Luther Family Ford getting an eye on what's going on right now as we have flakes flying in the Southern Valley. But notice roads are just wet here, and we don't even have accumulation on the grassy areas just yet. Snow showers from Winnipeg are pushing their way back to the west. That's exactly what we need to help with the drought. Now we have a lot more moisture out here near Lake Superior that'll be blowing our way as we go through the overnight hours. Notice the difference in movement down to the south, and some of this snow just pushing through the FM area right now. So we do have flakes, and it could begin accumulating on the grassy areas here in the Southern Valley, but I don't think your evening commute here is going to be compromised too much. Look at this as we go up along Highway 2. Grand Forks points east towards Devil's Lake. Some of these areas, Highway 5 up there near Cavalier, also having a chance at seeing some additional snow. Speaking of which, here's a look at the DOT camera up there showing already accumulation on the grassy areas and some slushy roads in places with more snow on the way. More on that in a moment. Right now, your current conditions at Hector. It's windy, gusting to near 30 miles per hour. Some areas tonight could have some briefly reduced visibilities as the snow showers make their way through. Keep that in mind as we go back in time to wintry travel conditions for some. Hutch's white line here, the freezing line, below freezing to the north and west of that. And this is where we could have slippery roads, and I think we'll have the best chance at seeing some of that snow accumulate. So some accumulations in northeast North Dakota and the Northern Valley. Hour-by-hour forecast for this evening shows the wind and snow showers continuing, expanding as some of the moisture from the east punches its way into northwest Minnesota, northeast North Dakota, where the moisture is needed. Temperatures at or below freezing for most of us, meaning periods of snow, not snow all night, but periods of snow that by morning we'll have accumulations up north that could be upwards of 2 to 5 inches in places. That's enough snow to be concerned about, and it might be slushy with warmer streets. Things cold enough though, it'll be in the teens up here, so we could have some slippery road conditions in the Devil's Lake Basin, and I think just nuisance amounts of snow in the FM area for your morning commute. Snow, periods of which will last throughout the midday and afternoon hours. Temperatures steady all day, northwest winds steady all day at 35 miles per hour. By the end of the day, the accumulations will add up as you see the persistent rainfall amounts here in the Central Valley could be upwards of a ½ inch to an inch in some spots, 5 to 9 inches of snow near the border, many with 2 to 6 inches. The farther south you go, the better chance that 2 to 6 inches or trace to 3 inches will be very slushy. Temperatures in the 30s for most and 20s in the Devil's Lake Basin, where you could have a taste of flaky road conditions. Here's a rainy day Daniel shared with us. This is a beautiful shot. Thanks for uploading. Here's a look at your planning forecast after a rough and tumble day tomorrow, and that evening commute will be a challenge. We want to remind you we'll be with you here throughout the event. Make sure you download the Valley News Live weather app. It's free. Search VNL Weather in the App Store today. We often update that with video forecasts as to what's happening now and how things are changing as we go through the event. A little quieter through the weekend, but not hot. Andrea.
All right, thanks, Hutch. Next on Valley News Live at 5, phishing scams have been on the rise during the pandemic. We'll tell you about a new scam that targets the most vulnerable.